Good day, everyone, and it's a very special day. I'm the host, Paul Lawrence Vann. I host Wealth Academy podcast, and I've been doing this for several years. In fact, today is the 5-year anniversary, and I'm glad that you could be with me for my friends, both here in the States and around the world, especially my friends in Italy. And one of the things that I'm going to share today is about the backstory, the history, the number of guests or some of the guests that's been on this podcast, and also where we are today and where we're going into the future. So I'm glad that you could be with me, and it's really going to be a wonderful, wonderful session. So first of all, let's address what is today is all about. Again, it's the 5th anniversary celebration, and we're going to party out, maybe like Bruce Springsteen. I don't know, but we're going to really celebrate today and make it one of the best episodes that we've ever had. So today is all about celebrating this podcast. So let me give you the backstory. I'm going to first start out with what happened with the financial turndown in the years maybe 2007, 2008, 2009. And like most entrepreneurs, I just stopped marketing. And that was a big, big mistake. But I was doing a lot of TV, local television in Washington, D.C. And I did it for about 90 days. And I talked about how people could avoid losing their home to mortgage foreclosure, what to do if you receive a summons from a judge because you can't afford to pay your bills. And these were real world things that were taking place. And as a result, I was not marketing at that time, and it was a struggle. So let's fast forward to 2020, March of 2020 to be exact. And I remember the day exactly. And I said, I'm not going to get caught flat footed this time. I'm going to be marketing, ABM, always be marketing. And so I decided I would go into this podcast training course. And I entered it with 35 to 36 other cohorts. They were entrepreneurs, coaches. They were also authors and consultants. And we went through training for about a month, and then we all launched on August the 6th of 2020. I had 3 episodes ready to go, so I uploaded those. 2 of them were solo with me talking about the purpose and why I'm starting the podcast. And then I interviewed one of the other colleagues or cohorts who happened to be in the training itself. So 36 of us launched on the same day, and things have really taken off since that time. And in fact, when we look at it, today's episode, which is the podiversary or the 5th year anniversary for Wealth Academy podcast, I'm at 310 episodes, which for me is a very low number. And the reason why, and I'm going to share this history with you right now, the reason why is because when I hosted a online radio show in the Blog Talk Radio, I had 900 episodes. I was actually averaging 100 episodes per year and interviewing just some amazing people. And so I transitioned away from Blog Talk Radio, and I transitioned it over to this podcast that I founded, which I lead, and it also helps me with my marketing as well. But I bring on a lot of really great guest experts. But let me share a little bit about some of the people that I interviewed on my online radio show, which we call the Wealthy Speaker Talk Radio Show. People like Chris Gardner. Chris Gardner, of course, he was homeless. He was a Navy veteran. Him and his son slept in a metro train station so that they could wash up each day while he was trying to get a job and find a way through the hurdles of life. And of course, we know that he turned that around. There was a movie that Will Smith started in called The Pursuit of Happyness. So I interviewed him, and the way I was able to interview him was I was speaking in Toronto, Canada, and I was sharing the stage with him, the platform with him. He was speaking, and so was I. And so I got his card, and when he had a new book that came out, Start Where You Are Now, I interviewed him. I was the first person that interviewed him on the day that his book was released and launched. Then I received a call because I was doing a lot of work with congressional people because I had served on Capitol Hill for a member of Congress. And Dr. Martin Luther King's daughter contacted me, Berniece King. and she was promoting her mother's book, Mrs. Coretta Scott King, who I happen to have met at one of these legislative conventions in Washington, D.C. And so I interviewed her, and the title of that book was The Life and Legacy of Coretta Scott King. And I interviewed her daughter, and I used to be a resident of Atlanta, Georgia. So I had lived there and attended the King Center for many, many times when I was in there for about a year. And then I moved over to the rapping side of the house. I received a call from this rapper by the name of Two Chainz. And Two Chainz, I guess he was probably a teenager at that time, but I didn't know how the episode would go because I really didn't know a whole lot about rappers. But let me tell you something. This young man, he was so intelligent, so bright, and just awesome, was an awesome guest. And I'll always remember him for that, that he was just a brilliant young man. And I'm sure today he's very successful and a brilliant, even more brilliant now. And then I interviewed Chef Jeff Henderson. Now, Chef Jeff Henderson was one of the biggest drug dealers in Los Angeles at the time. And he was 18 and he went thrown in prison. And when he was in prison, he learned how to cook. Not just cook, but cook excellently. So he used his time in prison to be a cook. And when he was released from prison, there was a restaurateur in Las Vegas that hired him to cook there. And to make a long story short, I interviewed Chef Jeff, and I tell you, he is one of the most successful people on the planet today. He turned his life around, not only for himself, but for his family. And I just really, really enjoyed talking to him. And he reaches out now to youth who are really going through struggles in life like he had gone through. His was based on not having opportunity, but he gives them an opportunity now to become a chef and work in his kitchen and even more. And then I interviewed the co-founder of Blog Talk Radio, individual by the name of Alan Levy. Now, Alan Levy was a co-founder of Blog Talk Radio, of which my platform was on, my online radio show, the Wealthy Speaker Talk Radio show. And I had 900 episodes there. But each year, and I did this for 8 or 9 years, I would interview Alan Levy. And I asked him, well, how did you find this Blog Talk Radio platform? He said, well, he initially founded it because he needed a way to communicate with his father. And he came up with Blog Talk Radio. He had some tech background, and he brought on thousands of hosts like me. And we would interview people all over the world. And I tell you, I really enjoyed it. And now Blog Talk Radio no longer exists, but I can say that I truly enjoyed being a part of that particular community. And I thank Alan Levy for that to this day. I also interviewed Julie Ziglar. Now, for people who don't know, I'm going to share with you right now that Zig Ziglar is one of my all-time favorite speakers. I just love the way he spoke. I modeled myself after him, just how he delivered his speeches and his story. He was a man of faith, and I really admired him. And I interviewed his daughter, Julie. And as I was interviewing her, she said that where everybody had this idyllic concept of who her father was, who he was a brilliant man, she said that she had fallen into alcoholism and really kind of let her life go down. And she was able to overcome that. And she just delivered a masterful insight into what her experience was like. Here on the one hand, you have a father who's just idolized and followed globally. And then she was suffering as a result of that. And it was a great, great interview. And I still appreciate and thank her to this day. Then I interviewed Anthony O'Neill. Now, Anthony was homeless at one time. His parents gave him money to attend college, and he didn't necessarily throw his whole person into being a student. And as a result, he became homeless, and he was sleeping in a car. And he was able to turn himself around. And today he leads a wonderful podcast, and he's a financial strategist. And I interviewed him about one of his books that he had. But Anthony is a really stand-up individual, and someone that I really admire. Then I interviewed Randall Pinkett. Now, Randall I've met, many of these other people I've met as well, but Randall, I met him when I was on a platform with him here in my area, which is in Maryland at the National Harbor Entertainment Zone. And so I met him, and he leads a multi-million-dollar company, and he's a Rutgers University alumnus, and he was one of the first people to win The Apprentice show. But he's a brilliant young man in his own right. He has several books out, and he empowers young people to uplift the community. So I really, I think he's with BCT Partners, a group that he formed with some of his colleagues, and it's a very successful IT business. And then I interviewed just a lot of people, actors, actresses, music guests, Olympians, educators, best-selling authors, you name it. I've interviewed a lot of people. In total, if I'm not mistaken, I'm close to about 1,250 people I've interviewed over the last several years. And people ask me, well, why do you do it? Well, I let them know that really I'm getting a PhD in acquiring knowledge. And so every time I interview someone, I'm learning something new. So I get a lot out of it, and I give people the opportunity to be interviewed. And I've interviewed people from Wall Street, singers, guitarists, you name it. I've interviewed a lot of different people, and I just absolutely enjoy it. It helps my communication skills. I've been interviewed on 125 radio stations, even more than that now. I've done television and led panel discussions out at Caesar's Palace out in Las Vegas, and spoke to people in Paris, France, and Kenya, Africa, as well as the Ukraine and through India as well. And so Wealth Academy podcast is really a really wonderful platform for people to be on. So let me share one of the things that I really want people to understand, and it's this. It's the fact that when it comes to podcasting, like any other mode of the media, you're going to run into some technology issues every now and then. And this takes me back to Chef Jeff Henderson when I was interviewing him and we lost connection. But luckily, I had told him before the interview, if we lose connection, just dial back in and we'll get that interview going just like nothing happened. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. And recently it happened with another guest I had probably maybe 2 weeks ago. And we just could not get that particular episode off the ground. And I just said, hang in there. And what we found out is that was some construction taking place in the area, and it knocked out the internet. But then it came back on just in time. And yes, we did complete that interview. And it was a winning interview, by the way. And so that's what I like to share with people. And then when we look at what's taking place today with podcasting, podcasting actually is more powerful than radio. And here's why. It's because with podcasting, you can go over the globe, but with a radio station, you may have a 50,000 watt, 75,000 watt radio station. And so they're limited by the area or the region in which they're in. Whereas unless they're streaming, live streaming, they don't have the same impact as someone who has a podcast. And so podcasting is really the thing of now, not only now, but in the future, because it's going to get better and better. And what else I want to share with you is this. I've had a few people who reached out to me and they would like to be a podcast host as well. And what I told them is that it's not very difficult, but there are just a lot of nuances that go with podcasting that you can't see. There's a lot working in the background that they can't see. And so I really recommend that people get a coach or go through a program with someone, and that would help them. I could do it myself. However, it really takes a lot of time. And for the individual who is trying to become a guests, they have to be patient, and there is some investment involved in terms of getting everything all set up. But I highly encourage everyone to do it, and it's a great medium, and it affords me that opportunity. And I've been trained, not only trained to be a podcast guest host, but a podcast guest, and how to edit these particular podcast episodes, which is really a time-consuming process, but one in which I enjoy. So today, what is things all about? Today, podcasting really is all about being on a platform, understanding how to use it to market, understanding how to make connections, and you can get clients from it. In the past, what I've done, I've promoted authors for their books to help them with their book sales. And there are just many ways that you can monetize your podcast, which for many people, I really highly recommend it. So let me tell you, how did I come up with the name Wealth Academy Podcast? Well, I came up with this name, and I want to give a shout out to Cecilia, who is in Florence, Italy. And I want to thank her because she's a great supporter of this podcast. And I interviewed her, and it was a wonderful interview. She provided a lot of insight, and really appreciate her. And she is saying here, there was a huge amount of people you've interviewed. Your passion and enthusiasm clearly come out of your episodes. It's quite peculiar, in my opinion. I really appreciate this skill. But thank you so much, Cecilia. And you know, I honor you, and I really enjoy receiving support from you. And if anytime I can help you, you know I will do that. And so let's look at the history. Where did this name Wealth Academy Podcast come from? Well, I served in the United States Air Force for 22 years as a military officer. And even though my functional specialty was financial management and cost analysis and budget analysis and working with contractors, my overall duties and responsibility was being a leader. And so that's why today I talk a lot about leadership, but I also delve deep into wealth and money and finances, which is very important for us all, being financially literate. And so it's not just a financial only podcast, but when I state that wealth is more than just money, it opens the door for other experts to come on and talk about what they do and share relationships with people, leadership, of course, best-selling authors, consultants, and you name it. And it's just a wonderful platform, and that's where the name came from. But today, I interview guests from all over the world, guests from Switzerland, France, Germany, Italy, India, Australia, New Zealand, Jamaica, Mexico, Canada, all over the world. And I've been doing it for many years because I'm in a network group, and a lot of times I'll meet people there, and if they have a new book coming out, I bring them on so they can share about their book as well. And so it's something that I really, really enjoy doing. And so what about the future for Wealth Academy Podcast? Well, the future is going to be bigger and better. It's going to be bigger and better because I have things lined up right now. I'm going to be bringing on some tremendously amazing guest experts. And then I'm going to be hosting some solo episodes too that are going to go deeper into leadership, deeper into finances, and they're doing some collaborative podcasting as well as being a guest on the other individuals' podcasts as well. And what I want to do right now is to just celebrate a little bit. And there's no better way when you're celebrating a podiversary than to have some cake. So happy podiversary to Wealth Academy Podcast, to our subscribers, our followers, our fans, and our colleagues. We're going to celebrate like no other time before. And so as you can see, the picture on the screen, and what I'm going to do is actually just get into the moment, and here goes the moment. Cupcakes. The cake was too big to bring, so I brought cupcakes. So here we go. Now that is a good cupcake. It's called Kimberly's Cupcakes. Now, this one is for our amazing guest and our fan, and that's Cecilia in Florence. I have some Italian sparkling water, mineral water. And so I'm going to wash down my cupcake, and here's to Italy, here's to everyone. What a party, what a party. So we're 5 years into this, and in many ways, I feel like we're in our infancy, but I'm going to continue to go on. Hello, Pat Carpenter. I interviewed Pat Carpenter as well. Thank you for the potiversary, and 3 cheers to you as well, Pat, as I celebrate. I used to drink, but I don't drink anymore. I just drink water, mineral water, maybe I love lemonade. So, but thank you so much, Pat. And I really appreciate it. And Pat is another individual that I brought on, and she shared just amazing insight. And she's doing some great work with women in terms of empowerment, and she's an entrepreneur as well. So I want to thank Pat for that. And I want you all to know that that cupcake was really good. I'm in trouble now. I might have to get on my stationary bike this evening. But I really, truly enjoy this particular platform, podcasting. It's a great medium to be on. It has resulted in me being in magazines. It resulted in me being on television, being interviewed on television. I've been in the print media in South Africa, as well as Portugal and beyond that as well. And so in many ways, podcasting is just a wonderful medium for people to really, really get the word out about them, to promote what they do. But more importantly, to help people, is that each and every interview that I'm a part of, I want people to learn at least one thing, because learning just even one thing on one day can mean for a lifetime. And so I really suggest and recommend people to send in ideas of topics that they have. And as I mentioned before, 3 of the top 3 topics for speaking, consulting, and coaching is about health, it's about wealth, and it's about relationship. And I can prove that relationships is a big topic. And the reason how is that every year during Valentine's, I host a Valentine's show, and I bring on best-selling authors and people who lead apps about relationships, because people want to make a connection. And all the relationships don't have to be a love relationship, but it could be colleagues, with your family. But those episodes are very powerful. And we know that health is a big topic, because everyone wants to be at their best, and to be at our best, we are our wealthiest when we are in good health. And then we talk about money, of course, because it's something that we know we need. We need that resource to help us do more things so that we can help more people. And my objective, what it has been all along, has been to be of service to people. And that's one of the things that I look at. But I really enjoy this platform. As I stated before, I really want to, I'm going to be adding even more to the podcast, bringing on more amazing guests, and then hosting some sessions and series also that can help people who are going through challenges in today's society, not only locally, but also globally. And it's really something that I've really been thinking a lot about. And I'm going to have some help, because I'm going to bring on some experts to help me. And I also want people to understand that it's really a great thing to be able to come on to the platform and have a interview and share what you do, because it's important for people to know exactly what you do. And so this is going to end this particular session of Wealth Academy Podcast. It's episode number 310. I can't believe it. Where did the time go? And again, today's episode was all about the Podiversary, the 5th anniversary celebration. And as it states here in the notes, from dreams to reality, celebrate with us as we honor the past and look forward to the future. And that's so important. And yes, I didn't have a big cake like this, but I have Kimberly's cupcakes. So happy Podiversary to us. And I want to thank everyone. And here are the cupcakes. Okay, so I'll have to ride my bike tonight. And of course, I'm having some mineral water from Italy, so I can share that with my friends from Italy. And my time is up, and I thank you for yours. And just recommend this particular episode to your family, friends, followers, colleagues, and I really appreciate each and every one of you. Go out there to Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, and wherever you get your podcasts, and share this episode with them. Go out, rate it, review it. And I do ask for a 5-star review, and I really appreciate it. It helps keep the podcast going. So have a great day, everyone. My name again is Paul Lawrence Vann, and I host this amazing podcast. And you have a wonderful day, and God bless us all. Take care for now.